Hey gang, Spontaneous Prime here, and today is going to be the first of many retrospective reviews. So, before you start asking questions in the comments down below, we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of beaten up, paint-worn figures that I currently own that came out from anywhere from 5 to 2 years ago. And we're going to see how these figures hold up over time, or have held up over time. Check the tolerances and everything. And these are just going to be a bunch of somewhat dusty figures and paint chipped figures in my collection. And the first one is going to be very, very special because this figure, this dude, I should say, holds a special place in my heart because he didn't have an official release until all the way till Kingdom, which for this character, for how important he is for the Transformers franchise, it was kind of upsetting that we didn't get a good Galvatron figure for years and years. And then when Kingdom came along, they're like, oh hey, yeah, we're doing this character for the first time in many, many years. And without beating around the bush for too long, here is Kingdom Galvatron. Now, just right off the bat here, he has a bunch of paint chipping, and he has a bunch of dust. He has a broken tab right there for the weapon storage. And I gotta say, I absolutely still love this figure to this day. And no, he's not actually missing anything. He has all of his accessories. And his fusion cannon is kind of chewed up. That's because 2 days after I got him, he was not, my entire shelf got knocked over, and the dogs decided to play chew toy with Galvatron's fusion cannon. Now, yes, it does still plug in very nicely into the shoulder mounts, technically to the bicep mounts, and then the... Ooh, I hit my camera. Stop moving, camera. It also plugs in really well to the forearm mounts and doesn't affect his standing ability any. Now, for the rest of his accessories, I do still have the 2-pack Nemesis, and they still do combine into that weird rail cannon, I should say, or if you want to get technical, a cool little spaceship for the HasLab Unicron that was being funded at the time. Or no, was it Siege that Unicron was funded? I think it was so. He just got released in Kingdom. And my favorite accessory, the Matrix chain. Galvatron got a little bling to him. Now, the reason why I'm doing these retrospective reviews is because with the announcement of a Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, I'm really hoping they're going to revisit this Galvatron. Probably not the toy, but the figure itself. Make it another leader class. Or no. Heck, I actually, before I even finish that sentence, I would actually just be happy with another package refresh of this in the movie-accurate colors and, you know, retooling of the arms here to where the fusion cannon can actually mount right here. And it actually has, you know, the proper mount on it. But getting all that off, and actually, that's tight as I'll get out. Ah! I dropped it. My nails are a little dirty on the surface. Don't know why exactly. Anyways. It does come with a little Matrix accessory, and it just does plug in on the necklace here. So when this guy initially retailed, he was, I think, 55 or 45, somewhere in there. But now they're going for like 55 for the current market. So let's get into that posability. See how well that's handled over the test of time. Do a bunch of that, and honestly, that's not very loose. Honestly, his joints are still pretty tight. Oh, do love me how this swivel on the shoulder here is actually still pretty tight, and that's actually for both of them. We'll see. We'll get into his hips in a minute. This one is a little... The right shoulder right here is a little looser than his left. But it's because I really use the right shoulder hinge more than I do the left one. And I actually got this with the rightly assembled shoulders. I just wish they were more tucked into the robot mode. Actually, now that I think about it, I actually think they should make a brand new toy of this and give it the more movie accurate mold and color scheme. Anyways, he does have the red painted abs. He does have a really good waist rotation. Still holds up. These skirts are still pretty tight. The hip the hip movement up and down is still pretty tight. The outward hip is still pretty tight. Not so much for the right one, but something a little Pledge probably wouldn't fix, or could fix. The knee joints are still pretty tight, and so is his ankle rocker. So yeah. The joints on this dude are still pretty tight. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the fact that he has a bicep swivel. Those are still pretty tight. And the wrist swivel is still extremely tight on mine. But I will say, this dude still poses like a charm, even after a few years of being released. Now, on my copy, I don't know how true it is for the newer copies. These top bicep pegs are still pretty loose. I have not used super glue to fix those up, nor will I, because I just prefer to put it on the forearm. I still gotta say, this dude looks really great all around for a Decepticon leader. I am missing Scourge and a bunch more sweeps, which I'm probably just gonna end up getting more sweeps. And I gotta re-get me a Cyclonus because he is yellowed pretty bad. But with that out of the way, let's get into the transformation. So here is Galvatron in his, I don't want to call it a tank mode because it's not a tank, it's a cannon. Yeah, this was what it would be, right? A cannon? I'm pretty sure it's cannon. Anyways, I gotta hand it to Hasbro on this one, that this cannon is honestly really good. Straightening this up here. There we are. Cannon mode is really good. And I love just how menacing it looks because of the, the accessories that Hasbro included on it. And of course it wouldn't be a Galvatron figure if it didn't come with the Matrix accessory. But I gotta say that this looks dope. And I've always been more of a Galvatron person than a Megatron person. I just think that Galvatron makes more sense as a leader. And I know that's kind of heresy. There is no kind of, that is heresy. Yes, Megatron was the tactician. Galvatron was just more of what the Decepticons needed to put them in their place. That sort of maniacally insane leader due to a mind slave condition. And if you haven't seen the G1 show, I suggest you go see it just to see what I'm talking about. Now, the tank can roll, like, really well. Oh, that's what it is. It's a mobile cannon. Durr. I don't know why I forgot all about that. And if you move this piece back, bring it down, and angle the treads inwards, you can really start getting him to angle upwards. And it's just really better if you plug that in all the way in the back and then bring that up. You can get that classic pose where he shoots Starscream, without these these bits. You can get that whole coronation Starscream scene, and I absolutely really love that. And in my eyes, this will always be the greatest Decepticon leader that there will ever be. Alrighty, so that is our first retro video. And I gotta say that since this figure came out in Kingdom, that was like 3 years ago, because yeah, it was Kingdom, Legacy, Evolution, which is wrapping up this year. This figure still holds up surprisingly well. Quite honestly, I'd like to see how well he holds up till the end of next year, because I think that since this is holding up really well, I think he'd hold up pretty well to the end of the year next year. So, A+ for the holding up. So that's pretty much all that there is to say here for Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron. If you don't own this figure, I suggest you get it. They're going really cheap on eBay. Kingdom Leader, or not Kingdom, but Legacy Leader Class Galvatrons are starting to go on clearance in Walmart for Christmas and for the new wave of Transformers coming out. So yeah, I suggest you pick this guy up for the 20 or 30 bucks that he's going for instead of the 50, 60 bucks that you would normally find him at. So yeah, that's pretty much all that there is to say here. This is SpongeMiss Prime signing out. Don't forget to subscribe.